Hi everyone, I'm here with Walt from Queen Games, and we're going to talk a little bit about Maharani. So if you just want to walk us through it real quick.
Sure. Maharani is basically a Mosaic puzzle game where you're going to be laying tiles on the board. You are flooring the Taj Mahal, so this is actually, the artwork is the same as the Taj Mahal, so the board's kind of got some nice touches to it. But basically what happens is you have your bag full of tiles here. You place 4 in the center, and there's a Lazy Susan in the middle here. It's a separate part of the board that places in. And there are 4 quadrants to the board. You match them up with the dog, the monkey to the monkey, etc. So when it comes to my turn, these are just tokens to show whose color it is, whose turn it is. It points, let's say it points to blue. I have the ability to play up to 2 of these tiles from the board. Now you can see the board is clearly in quadrants, in 4 quarters. So by taking this tile, and you can see there are columns on the floor, this would not be a legal move as it's not matching perfectly, but that is a perfect move because the holes match. By playing it in the quadrant it's in, I really have no negative implication to myself. For my second tile, you would lose 2 points that you have to pay to victory points to actually play a second tile, period. But if I were to take this and play it in a different quadrant, like, it's completely legal. I could take this out of quadrant 1 and play it in quadrant 4. But to do so, everybody has this little marker over here. The elephant here, since I played it in a different quadrant, I flip this over. The next turn, when this gets reseated, and let's say it comes back to me, I will not be able to pull this tile because I played it in a quadrant that it was not allowed. After that turn resolves, I'm able to flip that back over and I get it back. So if you play 2 tiles out of, if I were to take these 2 and play them, here or here, it's completely legal, but next turn I'm severely limiting myself in what I can do. Points are based on, initially, on matching colors. So playing this tile would be worth 1 point. Since this is adjacent to, or if it was right here, adjacent to a gold, this would be 2 points for playing it. There are 6 colors on the board. So the first immediate scoring element of it, where you immediately score points, is the color matching. The second part of it is the worker placement element. So you're kind of doing a dance between trying to play light colors and match them up, to where also put your workers on the board. The way that works is when you seed the board and you put tiles on it, there's arrows on each tile, and you match them up to the arrow on the Lazy Susan. So if I take, as an example, this tile and place it here or here, wherever, it doesn't matter which quadrant, but I had not spun it. Because you can tell because the arrow is still pointing in the same way. For doing that, I take one of my workers and I place it on the board. If I were to take another purple tile and do that, let's just say for the sake of the Aerofet, it can't be, I would move this worker over here. You can't have 2 workers of the same color in the same quadrant. So there are 6 colors, and you can see here you get points based on, at the end of the game, in each quadrant, how many workers you have in it. So if you have 1 worker in this quadrant, it's worth 4, 2 is worth 6, 3 is worth 9. So it's a dance of trying to link up the colors, or at the same time get your workers out, which is inherently making you mix up the colors in each quadrant. So the dance of the game is getting your workers out, not spinning the tiles, where at the same time you are trying to match up light colors to get the immediate points. The workers end up to be roughly about 50% of your game, so it is a harder thing to do in terms of really maximizing that. Especially about halfway through the game, not spinning the tiles becomes very difficult because the board is like halfway seated and all of a sudden your tiles don't match up as properly as it likes. It's a very passive, family-friendly game. Like, great with kids. It scales 8 and up. If you have an educated board game kid, you could probably play a little bit younger than that. Works a lot of gray matter in terms of color matching, spinning tiles, placement, things like that. It plays in about 45 minutes first play. And subsequently, I've never had a game go over an hour. And that's about it. Real little push, very family-friendly, and yeah, great game.
Great, and it's available now?
It'll be available on the 15th of June. It is available at Origins early.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.